and C. I'm definitely looking to see a little bit more from 9Z today. Haven't had the best season so far. Absolutely in serious danger of relegations at the moment. So every game is critical. W7M, former major champions, will not be an easy test, but it doesn't matter. You need every win you can get, even every round you can get if you're 9Z, because it might come down to that round count that makes the difference between getting relegated or staying alive. Horrible day for fans of Nikolai Tesla as we get double electricity bans for the 5th time today. So far, not a single round has been played without Bandit and Kaid banned out.
Womp womp. Oh well. Out of the 6 regions that we see, and I suppose technically there's 4 because APAC is divided into 3 sub-regions. APAC has actually escaped this little factoid, but EML, NAL, and SAL have not. And it's that there is a team at the very bottom with no wins whatsoever. In EML, it's Mako Esports sitting at 0-4. In NA, there's actually 2 of them, which is Team Cruelty and Standby LFO, and now over here in SAL, we've got 9Z. And what all 4 of those teams share in common is that they have yet to do anything than lose in regulation. 0 points across the board. So at least you're in good company. You've got other teams that are playing exactly the same level of Siege, which admittedly leaves something to be desired of. 9Z made a big change in the offseason, which was picking up another Brazilian to make them no longer majority Argentinian, but majority Brazilian like the other 9 squads. It has not really made a huge difference. Only 14 attacking round win, or 14 round wins through 4 rounds. You're getting 3 rounds, 3.5 rounds a match, and that's all you can muster. That's really not ideal. And unfortunately, when it comes to strength of schedule, 9Z, it's not going to get much easier. They're in last place. There is no bottom feeder team for them to beat up on. W7M will try to survive this early onslaught, Jesse, as 9Z have opened up the panel leading into construction and will now be off to the races, led in turn by Will, as there goes Zhao in the ground. Palu firing away. Loban had taken some damage earlier on as Palu makes that work. Dodes finds 2 very quickly. Vicente's gone. Nitro now will die as well. And it's all up to Will, who dies as well. A flawless round by W7M done in less than a minute. Jesse, this could end up being a quick matchup.
I love the contrast that we're getting on Clubhouse today, Parker. Loud versus low saw nearly every round go down to the last 10 seconds, right? 2 extremely careful and cautious teams that would use all the time to get set up, go for a 5v5 execute late in the round. The defenders weren't doing much to force early engagements. The attackers were happy to use that clock and go for really late round plays. 9Z have a different idea. They're going to just sprint straight in through the con single wall. The blitz player tries to make some space, doesn't get a whole lot for his value, ends up dropping the hatch to go down to stage, but by the time Blitz can rotate back up to the bomb site, his entire team has died already. So, yeah, not the first attack that I think 9Z were hoping for. I don't mind them trying to get a little cheeky on the very first round of the game, maybe catch W7M off guard if they've just woken up for this game, but you go to a team like W7M, you expect them to be ready for that, and it's a really strong anchored play coming out from Dodes to rack up those 3 kills and lock down that site. I anticipate we'll see some more standard pushes from 9Z coming up through the rest of this game. Again, first round, get it out of the way, give it a try. Doesn't work. Not that big of a deal.
Well, it's only up from here, right? Can't jump out of a basement window. You can't do worse than a flawless loss, which is what happened to this 9Z team. Nobody really showing any promise on their side of things. I mean, Palu was on the run for so long. They also had Loban on the run early. They wanted to go for a quick execute, did not work. So back to the drawing board they go. Same 4 that they will have to attack, but a little bit different where the fighting will come. Starting to pick apart that black mirror that's set up on Jacuzzi, and it's being watched by Dots, who himself is quite a ways back, rocking one of the remaining ACOGs on defense. Potentially could be used to catch 9Z off guard.
The Kali was pretty bad, if I do say so myself. The one time we saw it in our last BO1, didn't really find much value. did its best to open up the CC wall and then just kind of played on the windows. Didn't really get any good value. Can be a good counter to the Clash for sure, so I'm really interested to see if they can bring that over to deal with Volps. We know how powerful Clash can be on this extension over towards Cash side. This is a really good answer to it as well. Go down below with the Deimos, get that vertical pick. That could make all the difference. Hasn't happened just yet. Instead, Loben takes the brunt of the damage, and that will be a response. The Deimos goes down to Dodez.
Not a great start for 9Z. First blood drawn by w7m yet again. This is what we expect out of a clubhouse. Very stereotypical that the defenders will have the advantage, whether it be on an early pick or otherwise. Believe 9Z a little bit empty-handed. As about a minute remains, they will tussle with the forces being used over towards the bomb site. I think 9Z have got some control over on Cash side, or so we think. Dots lies in wait at DMR, ready to chew through them. 9Z realizing the clock is not on their side, they will maneuver their forces over to that jacuzzi wall. They cannot stall out. They managed to tear through the first wall. Next line of defense for the defenders at w7m is that bathroom wall with the black mirror setup.
Will with the fuse kit is still just staring into Cash. He's got to come with his team. I don't think you're going to get this ground at any point. w7m consistently just holding on to it. Volp's backed off construction now, so a little bit of ground ceded, but 25 seconds. You've got to get to the bomb site, and you've got to get here quick. Not a single pick so far for 9Z. A nearly impossible task to make this execute.
And Vicente's getting some damage done on his side of things. Down he goes, finished off by Paulu, who's been quite good. First kill for 9Z is going to be Tuku as he pulls out that secondary sidearm. Now he and Nitro dusted off. Volps and Dodez getting on the board, and Dodez will find a second as w7m are making this look so easy. A single kill on the side of 9Z through 2 rounds. And I mean, the responses on the cams at w7m are quite muted. This is a team that can erupt with emotion when they win. I think they understand the expectations on them and the expectations of this matchup. There's been very little, frankly, for w7m to get excited about.
Yeah, I think especially with the pacing of that round. I mean, we have no kills for the first 2.5 minutes. Eventually, I guess other than Zhao going down, eventually the push comes and starts getting a little bit exciting. But yeah, 1 frag through 2 rounds is not going to do you much good if you're 9Z. It really all started with that struggle of the Cash clear. You know, that Clash that was playing there, Volp playing alongside Loben inside construction, had a lot of players with him, Dodez too. Felt like they had the right tools for it. I really liked seeing Zhao go down below on the Deimos. It felt like that was going to be the key that maybe got a frag onto Volp, or at least forced him to move into an ideal position so that you could start to take that space. But in the end, Zhao just ended up, I think he walked up red to try to take that fight. He was quite aggressive inside of Lounge when he died to the guy playing top red stairs. So didn't end up even going for the Clash like I thought he was going to. I imagine we'll see the Clash banned out after round 3, after we get done with this one, because it has been such a problem so far. But as of now, they're going to have to just do what they can to get past it, not being brought for the basement defense. So that might be a little bit of relief for 9Z.
At this point, you got to throw everything at the wall and see what sticks. Amidst that fury, Tuku got the only kill. Dodez has 6 kills. I mean, at this point, it's a baby could do the math here. Paulu has more kills than all of 9Z. Loben has 1 kill. He's tied with the whole team. It's not really worth talking about at this current point in time. Nitro SAL misses Zhao, but almost kills Will. That could have been a 2K, and that would have blown up the chances of a 9Z resurgence here. Is now, instead of attacking the top floor, they will turn their sights below.
Loben is still up above, so they can't completely ignore that top floor. They got to be really careful of him. Currently up in gym. I hope that they've got some flank watch ready for that. Not 100% sure if they have the information or not. Of course, that Nitro had to come from somewhere, so I'll imagine that they're aware of this. Still, though, that doesn't mean they could ignore the bottom floor either. Lots of soft reach being done by Zhao. Tuku there on the ram as well to do some good work with this. The hatch starting to being opened by the can opener. Should have no problems. They did bring a lot of impacts inside of w7m, but it's really tough to get close enough when the floorboards have been so ripped apart. Here comes the flank.
Nice read by Loben. Vincent in the ground. It's not far off of the ram at Tuku too. If you suspect that there's somebody over towards billiards, you want to make your presence known. That's exactly what Tuku will do, and good patience being shown from Loban at the moment, but Tuku has no intel to play off of. A shotgun pointed right at the chest is what awaits him, and now he hears Tuku go on to drone. Loban has not vacated the premises and finds a third onto Nitro as he's just playing with his food at this point. Next one up is over in kitchen, but it's Loban who's been doing all the cooking so far. Zhao and Will without a single kill to their name. Will break that and will need more as Volps has dusted off Zhao. And the Ying, who took some damage earlier in the round, trudging their way towards the stairs, hearing that a defender is in the vicinity. Out will go a Panic Candela, another in pocket for Will if need be. 56 bullets in the mag, so start firing and you'll hear that pitter-patter sound of Ying's LMG going off. A missed opportunity as Dodez will clean up on that. Nicely done by w7m to pinch the remaining attacker. One player going through stock, the other main stairs. w7m looking dominable at this point. A perfect 3-0 start.
I didn't want to call it before we started to see some action, Parker. I wanted to give 9Z a chance to show what they've got in the server, but this game has got it's got 7-0 aura. I mean, it's looking tough so far from 9Z. There goes the Clash ban. Obviously, last round, huge performance coming out from Loban. Loban yet to have even a single positive performance through the SAL Stage 2. Definitely feels like this game against 9Z could be his chance to go positive. Certainly 4-2 start will bode well for him and his team. You do have to question some of the decisions from 9Z in that previous round. You know, they should have known Loban was up above. That nitro cell on the main stairs, it goes off, and instead of clearing that position, you kind of assume that everybody rotates back to the bomb site. That's not what happens. Loban left as the one roamer ratting up on the top floor. They seemingly had no clue where he was at. I think they very much believed he had rotated back to the site. So times his flank really well, gets a brilliant pick. And then in the 4v5 too, I mean, getting on drones in the bathroom is tough when you don't know where he is. You could have had anybody else hop on drones there while Tuku just held his position. But in the end, you're going up against like Loban. You're going to miss some of those opportunities. And 9Z, again, still quite a young and inexperienced team. So they're going to make some of those mistakes.
Every team will make mistakes at some point, but you're spot on. The teams that have younger players, they're less experienced. Not only are they going to make mistakes in game, but their mental game will still be in development. Right? One thing that always seems to separate the good teams from the great teams is how well they are able to shake off a bad kill, a bad death, a bad round, etc., and move on to the next. Not everybody is going to have championship level abilities when it comes to that, but usually a team will show serious growth in that regard. But with a team like 9Z, admittedly South America has tons of competition, usually far more than a lot of other regions, but with a team like 9Z, a younger team, a team that is still trying to find their identity, still trying to communicate properly, still trying to work out their strats and their roles, they should be showing a lot of growth really quickly. I don't know how much growth you think this team's gone through over the 4 play days, now 5 play days, but I mean, they're going to have to start finding it in a hurry.
Yeah, we haven't seen a whole lot from this team, unfortunately, in terms of that growth just yet. They did break a 12-game losing streak on Wednesday as they got their first victory in the Copa Sul-Americana up against a Tier 2 team, so they are winning matches, but still looking for their first real game win over a Tier 1 team in a very long time. Kills all around the map now as Loban will trade out, and it's another pick from Palu right onto Zhao.
He baits him in. I don't know if Will and Loban are retrievable or not. They're both bleeding out at the exact same rate. Palu with a golden opportunity. Down goes Nitro. Now Palu's tucked into the corner as Volps and Palu credited with those 2 kills. An ejected Black Mirror will provide a window of opportunity for any of these w7m players, but Tuku can do the same, and he will do just that, losing most of his HP in the process, but still netting the kill onto Palu. The first one, for the record, as Loban was picked back up. He now sits inside a weight room. Vincent 0-4, trying to repel in through the gas, and Dots will clean him up. It's another for Tuku, who's got 3 of 9Z's 4 kills through 4 rounds. You did hear that correctly. Loban and Dodez combined for about 35 HP, and Tuku's DMR hits like a truck. But he's going to have some luck on the side here, as Volps yet to die. 3 kills and 2 gas canisters. Volps will have plenty of opportunity to punish this last attacker. Ooh.
Okay. This is possible, Parker. I mean, 2 defines. They should be playing quite close with each other, so Tuku can expect that they'll be over on the site. He does not have defuse kit. No! The toxic babe! Oh, they predict where he's gonna be. I don't think they even expect that to kill, but they're like, wow, we can at least stop him from getting on the window, but he's 1 HP, so it does enough to get the kill. Nothing Tuku could do there. That's a tragic way to lose that round.
Yeah.
Could have been great. I mean, if he clutches up the 1v2 in the end there. His team didn't really set him up, of course. It was a tough spot for him to be in. Will jumped in the gym window early. He flashed Loban, but still ended up trading. They both got downed. And it just feels like nobody's really there to support him. You know, there's no good trades to come through from that. Loban, the roamer on the other side of the map from the bomb site, has a partner, Palu, to trade him, but the attacking team don't have anybody there. That's really, I think, a problem of miscoordination coming out from 9Z, and it's been a common theme for them all throughout the stage.
I don't even know what you do at this point in time if you're 9Z. I guess you just wait and hope to God that it's not a 6-0 first half for w7m defending here on Clubhouse, and at that point you will have no wiggle room whatsoever. You make one stumble and that's it. It's gone. Doesn't really bode well for their chances now, as w7m have put together an incredible body of work against a team that, yeah, in theory and in the standings should be somewhat kindred spirits. Nice shot there is an early spawn peek by Dodez. Almost takes Will out of action, and that would have been the only primary hard breach. We say that because Nitro, as Grim, has a secondary can opener available. 5 kills through 4 completed rounds for 9Z. Tuku with 4 of those, Will with 1. They've all been completely impactless.
Yeah. Certainly struggling so far. Nice that they can get the wall open over towards Jacuzzi. They were working over towards cache side too. I think without the clash, clearing that cache extension should be a lot easier. I thought Zhao going down below was a smart decision when he did this back in round 2, even if it didn't find success. I liked that position from him. Loban just tripped up on the wall there. It doesn't impact low enough. That probably would have been a free kill, but didn't quite find it in time. Instead, it's still a distraction. So now that's another thing that 9Z will have to be worried about. They know Loban's down below, and it's going to be really awkward trying to clear him.
I don't think they know what the next steps are here as Dodez looks for the wraparound, almost finds a golden opportunity. Is Vincent still searching for his first kill? Takes quite a bit of abuse. Damage that was done to Will was from that spawn peak earlier. Now as the Warden of Loban retreats, they've got 2 separate players at w7m eagerly awaiting the Deimos of Zhao. Instead, we've got Tuku on that collie lighting up those barricades and the wall leading between the bomb sites. 9Z risk getting stuck with about a minute to go.
Certainly feels like they're starting to stall, and this is kind of what we saw from w7m the last time they were on this site, right? At least we have a full 5-man team from 9Z, so they'll get their chance to go for the full execute. They'll have a shield in terms of Vicente, who can try to make his way in, probably going for a gym plant, which is what we've seen most teams go for from this position. Vicente starting to move over towards that angle, and then they'll have a really strong cover happening from outside these windows. Keep an eye on Zhao, too. Currently down inside of Lounge, will hopefully be hunting for Volps at some point in this round.
The first pick will come through 5 rounds. Nitro yet to find a kill. Will Vincent have any better of a situation? No, he won't. Loban dusts him off. Down he goes. Dot's down 2, and suddenly it's a 3v3, the most winnable round that has been here for 9Z, but will it be squandered? Zhao gets on the board. He and Tuku working together now as Vincent's gone, Tuku's gone. It's just all Zhao in a 1v3, and he's outside with mere seconds left, watching windows, waiting for a foe who will not appear, surviving the round. But his team's fortunes no better off. A 5-0 start for the Bulls.
Really like how aggressive they were getting in that situation. W7M recognized that, like, hey, there's 40 seconds on the clock. It's a 5v5 situation. This is kind of losable for us. So what do? Well, they start to get aggressive. They start to make moves. It's the opening pick from Loban, who finds an angle onto the window. And then once he gets that frag, Loban does what Loban does best. All right. He just keeps on getting aggressive. And one of the most aggressive players we have in the South America League. So fun to watch both online and international events. Jumps out for some big kills. Causes so much panic for 9Z that they're all worried about the Sazami that's jumping out and killing their whole team. Nobody is thinking about the potential flank from Volps, which is walking up those east stairs. I said Zhao might be the guy to hunt down Volps, but unfortunately they didn't seem to know that the flank was coming in from that direction. Zhao actually rotated back up to be with his team over towards the windows, so he actually had no real chance at stopping that flank from happening despite his initial position down inside a lounge. Second time we've seen a really big flank catch 9Z off guard, and while I don't think it was as impactful as Loban's flank a couple of rounds ago, it is a trend where consistently 9Z aren't really having the drones set up. They're not having that information to catch these aggressive plays that W7M are going for.
Nice to see a Scopos here on what will be the final round of the first half. One of those robots set up downstairs in church, the other one on rafters, and looked like there might have been a collision to be had inside of that part of the map. Alu will hear his window go as he's playing over by Secret. And 9Z have very quickly taken the rooftop just outside of Cash and CCTV. There was a run out as well. Did you happen to see which operator it was?
I did not, Parker. I was looking at my stats. Sorry.
I forgive you.
I appreciate that.
It's a good angle by Vincent as he sees the Scopos of Dodez walk back up the stairs. So at least there's information now. As part of that garage wall has been opened up, in a minute has elapsed in the round. A 6-0 half, a perfect half for W7M, very much on the table. The previous round, 9Z gave some serious licks to this W7M team and showed that they can actually hang in terms of fragging power, but it was what? It was 3 kills, with the third kill happening in the final moments before we saw the outcome. It's not just strategy that 9Z is behind on, but it's fragging power too.
This time they're at least aware of the roaming players above them. So last time they were on this site, they got completely caught off guard by Loban's position. This time they absolutely know where he's at. They know where Dodez is too, because they had him on a drone earlier. So they know 2 players are above them. That doesn't make it any easier of a problem to solve. These positions will still waste a lot of time. So many players on 9Z have to worry about this. Dots actually finds the opening frag onto Tuku, so you won't have your Lion if you were trying to use that for the roam clear. You're just fighting vert angles. I feel like somebody has to go above and deal with these threats, Parker.
None of the Lion charges get used either, Jesse. Not that I heard, which means that Tuku might have died with full utility. This is an unfortunate reoccurrence for these bottom teams in the South America League, is that they play as if it's a death match and they don't get to use their gadgetry the way that they should. Rubber will hit the road very shortly with 30 seconds remaining. W7M's lead will grow as Will falls at the hands of Dodez, one of those Scopos robots involved in the fun you see positioned over by Church right now. Smoke will isolate some of these defenders as Nitro takes a beating from Dots and is finished off very quickly. Vincent as well will go killless along with Nitro as they're buried nearby, and Zhao doesn't even move, but Volps takes him out of the server all the same. They are running with the bulls, except it's unfortunately one of those compilations where it's mostly people getting trampled. Womp womp. Oh, 9Z not able to muster anything in that first half. A perfect 6-0 for W7M.
Got to be feeling confident after a half like that. And for 9Z, on one hand, it should get a little bit easier, right? They move to defense. They are a better defensive team than they are on attack. They are the worst attacking team in the league. They are not the worst defensive team. And they've got, I would say, a decently respectable win rate of 40% on defense so far through the stage. But I am a little bit worried with how many players we're not seeing put up any numbers so far from 9Z. You mentioned it, both Vicente and Nitro yet to find a kill in this game. And Vicente on defense so far in stage 2 really has not been that great. He's the newest pickup on 9Z, and through 4 games in the second stage, he's only gotten 2 kills on defense. You combine that with his 17 defensive deaths, and it really does not bode well for him getting on the scoreboard at all throughout this game. Combine that also with the fact that we might only have 1 round for Vicente and Nitro to try to get on the board, so you really are hoping to see some big moves from them. Because they're in such a dire spot, I would really like to see somebody just go for broke, make a crazy play, try to get aggressive, catch somebody on w7m off guard. You need something to happen in this round to give your team momentum, because you don't just need to win this round, you need to win the next 6 in a row and OT.
No room for error whatsoever. You've got 4 players on 9Z combining for 3 kills. It has been a long time since I have casted a match this lopsided. For you, it's been 2 days. But for me, it's been a long time. It's not just that it's lopsided on the score sheet above you, it's how poorly 9Z is playing in all of these rounds. They have not mustered a fight anywhere except for round number 5. And that was because they got 3 kills, one of which came towards the tail end of the round that didn't even have any impact on the actual outcome. I don't know what to say.
Well, Vicente is going for one of these aggressive plays. He's ratting bottom garage to try to get a pick through the drone hole. However, he is on a drone, so unlikely that this will be fruitful for him. I don't think he realizes there's a drone up in the rafters. Some nice drone parkour from Volps, but eventually he gets spotted out and just makes it out, it seems like he will be successful in getting back. His teammate falls through the hatch at the very least, and he will run down the secret stairs and get caught anyways. So that is w7m from Vicente doing his best James Bond impression here on Clubhouse.
It's the level of coordination that was on display through many of these events where w7m have prevailed. Now they'll get Tuku as well. Still got over half of the round to go, and there's been no resistance whatsoever on w7m as they are just about ready to walk into this bomb site. They'll continue to pick away at all of the soft walls leading around the bomb chassis while the hard destruction is done on the main floor. It's Zhao getting softened up now as he and Will below 100 points of HP. There's been a scratch on the paint of Loban. That's about it. When it comes to w7m, they are in full control. If I was Volps, I'd just hide. Go the entire game. Same with Dodez without dying. 2 players on w7m yet to die. 2 players on the side of 9Z without a kill. And this matchup could be over, Jesse, in 1 minute.
I'm trying to think up a win con for 9Z. Maybe a big 3K Nitro from Zhao, quadrupling his kill count could do it for him. Doesn't seem like anybody's in a position to go for a flank right now. Everything's being watched. Loban set up his air jabs. I think that would be a disaster. It's a very heavy focus from w7m on getting into blue. Starting to open up some of these barricades now, and they've got players on the hatch as well. So you can let them in, you can let them drop if you're 9Z, but you have to be able to farm them when they fall down here.
And I mean, you've got such an advantage. You can have Loban just do this. He can sit here for the next 30 seconds. Down goes Zhao. Will and Nitro, the last 2 remaining for 9Z. Will Nitro be lucky enough to break this goose egg? Some bullets will go in over towards Dirt Tunnel. A drop. Will on the board. It's all up to Nitro to break the goose egg to keep it alive. He will not succeed. w7m squelching this 9Z team en route to a 7-0 victory.